This is the David Lee era. You don't sign somebody to a 7-year contract and then not give them the keys to the kingdom. So he's already talked about how he has had conversations and thoughts about what is going to happen in the years to come. So this is interesting. And so this really is against Houston. It's the final time I think that we are going to see a lot of people for Sporting Kansas City. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of No Other Pod. I'm Jimmy, along with my good buddy Daniel Kooser. Dan, what's going on, my friend?
Busy weekend, man. Fun weekend. Got a case of the Mondays, though, because we're back here, and it's a bittersweet time to wrap up the regular season of Major League Soccer, man.
It is. It's been a weird year for Sporting Kansas City. If you would have asked at the start of the season, as we are heading into decision day, would we think we'd be talking about an entirely new front office, team, identity, culture, etc.? I probably would have said no. I probably would have said it is more likely that we'd be talking about Sporting heading into a playoff series. But here we are. Life is weird. And times change, and we go into a decision day week where there are no decisions to be made for Sporting KC, good or bad, in terms of where they end in the standings. It is what it is. So it's a weird week.
It's weird, man. It's just been, first of all, let's just give a huge, massive thank you and congratulations to you, dear listener, for being here. Mm-hmm. It can't be fun to come in and commiserate with us and little sparks of excitement. Hey, we're looking good. We're scoring goals. And then, we're giving up leads. And thank you for being here is what I'm trying to say. That means a lot to us. We haven't been on this network very long, but we've almost been on it as long as we weren't on it.
Getting there. Well, yeah, it's been, man, time flies. Someone was telling me the other day, who was it? Bro. I think it was my cousin, where they were like, it's crazy that you started this thing damn near 8 years ago, more than 8 years ago, and have gone just about every week since. With
you were in your 20s, bro.
It's crazy.
I was not.
It's just I don't know. It's wild that
time is weird. I have a friend who was like, yeah, I'm helping my son move. And I was like, move where? Like, he just graduated college, got a job. I'm like, he graduated college? Mm-hmm. I said, oh my God, where's my AARP card? Like, I'm a mess. Time makes no sense anymore.
Yeah, I don't think my youngest brother was in college yet when we started this, and now he's married. So
fantastic. Look at that.
Wild. Yeah, it's crazy. But here we are. And it's been a weird year.
You can tell we're, lamenting the season as we didn't even bother to put on a Sporting KC jersey. We normally wear a shirt or a hat or something, and you and I are on two different sports, my friend.
We are. I do need to do laundry because I've been traveling a lot.
There you go.
That is part of it. I am proud of my USC Trojans. We beat Michigan, and we didn't just beat them. We handled them easily. And so that it's not often in the last 10, 15 years I get to gloat about USC football. So
especially against Michigan. I mean, they're a top tier team, man.
I know. So we took care of business.
Alabama took care of Missouri. I, as a KU fan, I was like, good.
I know you're a KU fan and you got some Alabama ties, so I'm sure that made you feel good.
Close game, fun to watch.
Yeah. And then the Current are doing Current things. I mean, they're just a record-breaking team, damn near.
Who would have thought they would keep breaking more records when they have nothing more to play for right now? Like they can just relax and coast until the playoffs, and they're like, nah, we want all the records.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, Lorena setting records, the team setting points record. I mean, it's nuts. You and Chris will talk about all of it on Currently. Make sure you check out Currently. Very, very cool as we head in toward the final couple of games for the Kansas City Current and then the NWSL playoffs. So they're going to have to do the damn thing because nobody remembers the 73-9 Golden State Warriors. So
no.
Here's
No one
hoping.
cares, dude. You have to raise a trophy at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It just, that sucks a lot because we witnessed such a historic year, and now it's like, oh man, you got to do the whole thing, or it's nothing.
Or it doesn't mean, and it shouldn't be nothing, but that is
Yeah.
how kind of history and fans do tend to look at it.
If this was Premier League, we would have celebrated weeks ago.
Big game over.
Game over. We're drinking in the streets,
Mm-hmm.
having a great time,
Having
but it's
parades down the riverfront.
no, bro. We love playoffs around here. That's what we love.
Yeah, it's an American thing. You got to do it.
I'm okay with it.
It does add a level of excitement because that way, if
I'm a bracket fan. I love brackets.
how do you feel about the NCAA tournament, men's NCAA tournament, maybe going to 78 teams?
It's pretty crazy to think of because I think that tournament is crazy large as it is. So I'm like, why do we need to add more? This isn't football where they did add more. Yeah. And I'm like, cool. Football kind of makes a little sense to have more than 4 teams. Mm-hmm. But like basketball kind of had a sweet thing going on, man. And then they started adding that 4-team play-in bubble. And it's like, I was done with that. I didn't like that either.
That's kind of about where I'm at too. Like, okay, those first 4 that play in bubble 4 teams, like that's one thing, but expanding that to like 10 more teams or whatever it is and having like that's too much. Like you already got the perfect postseason tournament.
I always thought that those 4 play-in games should be all playing for the 16 seed to get in, but there's like a 12 up there, and I'm like, what? Playing for a 12? So if someone's playing for a 12, doesn't that mean they could be slotted into a 16 somewhere else maybe? I don't know. I hate that, dude. I hate it so much.
I think it has to do with like automatic qualifiers and such because like in college basketball, there are so many like smaller conferences that if you win, you automatically get in. But they're like, oh, you won the Midwestern Atlantic Conference, so you're
names that we
automatically in, but you're going to be a 16 seed. So
right, Conference USA, that's a little smaller one, isn't it?
Yeah, that one's like a mid-sized conference.
Is that mid? Is Sunbelt one? Is that a small one?
Sunbelt's a little smaller, but
Or is that a granola bar company?
That's Sunchip. Why doesn't Sunchip sponsor the Sunbelt? That's the question.
I love me some Sunchips.
Sunchips are good. Garden salsa. Ooh, love them.
I don't know if I can have those. I think they might have milk in them. I think I can only have. Okay, I think I can only have original Sunchips.
Yeah,
those aren't great. Those aren't the best.
For you. No.
Yeah.
I know. That's unfortunate.
It is.
But anyway, I just think NCAA basketball postseason tournament, 64 teams, 68 teams, whatever it is, it's like the perfect literal March Madness. It's great. Don't mess with it. But as we all know, MLS messes with their postseason damn near every year. So it's hard to know. MLS isn't the league where you want to look to for guidance in terms of postseason play.
We're going to see a whole schedule shift. It's inevitable, right? We're going to switch to the European calendar one of these days, and everyone will be divided. Again, we'll all be divided.
Yeah. At this point, it truly is inevitable. Like I don't know anything, but it feels like they're doing market research. They're doing all sorts of stuff to where it's pretty clear that that's the direction this is headed, and it'll shift.
If you want to be as successful as Europe, do as Europe does. Like, it makes sense. I get it.
That's what they want to do. And unfortunately, they will probably never be as successful as Europe, but they're trying. So
yeah, but you keep getting players like Leo Messi and Thomas Muller, and even back, years ago, Bastian Schweinsteiger. I mean, there was big names, Kaká,
Thierry Henry.
Who am I leaving out? Zlatan. I mean, that was a huge one, dude.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
what a time. Wayne Rooney. I mean, we'll get more names.
Man, I forgot Wayne Rooney played for DC United for a bit.
I'll never forget it when he tracked down that ball, got a steal, and then made a half-field assist.
It's crazy
to win the game.
Yeah,
I'm like, this dude is insane.
The man. And then Gareth Bale for like half a year with the LAFC, and now Son. So they come, and it's interesting, but we'll see.
Sure is. So. I love this league, man. I love our American ways, for lack of a better term. Like, I love what we got going on here, but I do understand if we have to make a change for certain reasons. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just don't really want to be out there in 30-degree weather. I might have to double up them socks, get the parka out, but worse things have happened, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's even Peter Vermees who said on a podcast not that long ago. It was his first podcast interview after getting fired, where they asked him about moving to the winter calendar and all that. And he was talking about, the global transfer market and all that stuff. But he was like, in terms of like pro rel and all that they brought up too, he was like, the playoff system and as it is now is like uniquely American. That's what sets us apart from other leagues in other countries. And that's just how American sports are. So if you try too much to emulate exactly how other leagues are doing it, you sort of lose the heart of what makes you unique. So,
dude, my therapist is he's all for pro rel, and I was like, whoa, bro.
you're like, I need a new therapist.
I said, we gotta have a conversation. I was like, why? But he's like a Premier League junkie. Like he's up every Saturday morning,
Interesting.
On Peacock watching all the games. So
interesting.
Yeah, we kind of talk about that every now and then. I don't even think he has a team that he follows. I think he's just a fan,
Yeah, just loves the sport.
I think so. Just loves watching Premier League. And I get that. I used to watch NFL all day, every day, it felt like.
Yeah, I hear you. It's when you're a fan of the sport, you just want to watch it. So, especially at a high level. One other thing, though, that MLS is changing on, and this is maybe not such a good thing. I don't know if you saw this going around Twitter, but did you see that MLS dropped generative AI recaps of some of their games this week on MLSsoccer.com?
No.
This is crazy. I first learned of this from Tom Bogert on Twitter, and it's the real Tom Bogert. It's not Tom Booger, the fake Tom Bogert on Twitter. And he put up a screenshot of the match recap of Orlando City and Vancouver Whitecaps, and it's got the date and the byline, but instead of saying, by Daniel Kooser or by Jimmy Mack, it says created by MLS generative AI. And so Tom, he wrote, quote, "This sucks a lot. I know from my own experience doing it. It is not expensive to pay humans to do this. I get a lot of invaluable development from working there, as did countless others." And then he links to a feedback link on MLSsoccer.com where you can leave feedback as to how you think the MLS generative AI did. And they have done this for a handful of games. And this is a specific match recap article feedback mechanism. So you can go in there and you can choose that specific match and you can leave your feedback. It's just, it's not good. It's what you would think a generic AI match recap would be. It doesn't tell you anything that you can't get just from looking at a box score. And unfortunately, we're not professional sports media members, but, we have a podcast and such, and we're grateful for the opportunities we've been given as people to do this. It's just a real bummer to me that MLS is looking at generative AI for stuff that they could be giving opportunities to, even for students or people who are trying to break into the sports journalism game.
So, how do you see if something is AI on their website? Like,
so for this specific match recap, it's Orlando City versus the Vancouver.
It's only for recaps?
I think right now it's just for recaps, and it says created by MLS generative AI at the top of the match recap article. And it might only be for this one match so far.
Well, I mean, that would make sense. No, because then there's Miami and Atlanta.
Oh, is it also generative AI?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a real bummer, I think.
Well, it is. This is just part of it. We're all kind of like, robots taking our jobs and stuff like that. But if we could be more entertaining on here, though, more exciting, so we don't have a robot talking about
the robots take over
0010101.
I'll tell you what, the robots aren't going to shoot in WWE references when they're talking about soccer.
Oh, they will if they study us. they learn, bro. Like, should learn. Don't give them any ammo.
You can go on Tom Bogert's Twitter if you don't like this and you want to leave a feedback, or there's other Twitter accounts you can find. I don't know. I find this a little bit of a bummer. I've done soccer writing before. I know it was such a good experience for me to do that and sort of learn about how to cover the game. And it's just a little bit of a bummer. And I know that AI, I'm not saying that AI doesn't have a place in sports coverage. It obviously does in some way. It's just a bummer that it's, in this case, taking actual people's jobs and doing it in a worse way. So
yeah,
there's my little soapbox for you. But it is what it is. We are going to talk about the decision day game for Sporting Kansas City, and we also want to talk about the introductory press conference for the new sporting. What is he? I don't even remember what his title is now. He's not the chief soccer officer, but the new head guy, the milkman, as we were calling him, David Lee for Sporting Kansas City. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick break here. But even before the break, I'm going to give a call out to all Chiefs fans. You could be on the field at the 50 inside GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Visit chiefs.com/GEHA now. Enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pregame coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll be right back.
Chiefs Kingdom, I have got a question for you. What is your favorite touchdown? Well, for me, I can confidently say that my favorite touchdown, it's the next one, because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. From the first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. From spreads to money lines, same-game parlays, regular parlays, you want it, DraftKings has got it. Here's the best part. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. I use DraftKings Sportsbook, and you should too. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Minimum minus 500 odds required. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
My name is Terrell Jolly. A lot of people call me TJ, founder and CEO of Integrity Capital Management. So Integrity Capital Management originally started out as a property management firm, but we slowly transitioned to what is described as an incremental development firm that's focused on situational housing. I know most people say affordable, but we believe in creating housing for people that are actually in need and built to the end user. I believe everyone needs a home because when you have home, you have hope. The reality is that when you're building a business, one thing you don't think about is like what a true banking relationship means. And, I had the honor and privilege of meeting Debbie early on in my career when I was just trying to get going. And as a small business, it's really challenging at times because people don't understand the concept or not believe the longevity because you're just getting started. But Debbie was willing to take a chance on me, be patient with me. I almost look at it like a grassroots initiative. She's seen and believe what I'm about. Anybody that's really true about their business and want to get some things done, I would definitely trust hands down Emprise because Deb's team, along with Aaron and Jackie and all the amazing people that work behind the scenes, even from the treasury side, I would say, hey, give them an opportunity because you won't be disappointed and you will actually be in hands that actually somebody care and that will see you from start to finish.
Man, talk about them Chiefs the other night, huh? What a time that was. Did you stay up and watch?
I did. Yeah, that was crazy. Chiefs are starting to look a little bit more like the Chiefs.
Chiefs are starting to chief. I mean, they felt pretty good, man. I was worried about it. You got the Lions coming in. You're like, God dang, we're going to get smoked, aren't we?
Yeah, Lions have been decent.
First half was a little touch and go, but damn, I had a great time. It's good to be back on top.
Well, it was a little touch and go. It was after the game when, Branch on the Lions decided he wanted to punch Juju Smith-Schuster in the face.
What was the disciplinary action for that?
As of the recording of this game, he's been suspended without pay for a game. Branch has.
Oh, shoot.
So as a
single game
podcast, yeah.
Little red card situation. Okay.
Yeah. So he'll probably appeal, but there's no way he's going to win that appeal. I mean, it's caught in 4K, him just punching Juju.
after the game too. I mean, if it happens during the game, you get a flag, probably not a suspension.
Oh yeah. You probably get tossed if they see you throw a closed fist punch in the game. They'll toss you and they might suspend you. But I'm just glad. What I was worried about was I didn't want Juju to get suspended because he retaliated, but it was after he got punched square in the face. So maybe they find Juju. I don't know, but I didn't want them to suspend him for basically defending himself. And so far, I have not seen a suspension come down for Juju Smith-Schuster. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wild.
But yeah, Chiefs are looking a little better. So we'll see what happens. Should be interesting.
Yes.
Before we talk about David Lee, who is the president of soccer operations and general manager, I had to look it up because I forgot that full title. Sporting did also announce their end of year awards at their annual Pitch Black party at Children's Mercy Park. So I'm going to go through these real quick, and you tell me if you think there are any surprises here. I don't think there are, but MVP Dejan Jovic. That's pretty clear that Jovic should be the MVP, I would think.
No notes.
Offensive Player of the Year, presented by Compass Minerals, Dejan Jovic. Good. Love it. Defensive Player of the Year, John Pulskamp. And I think that's probably the only option because who else on that defensive unit deserved an award?
Who stopped more goals? You know what I mean? Like, I'd be interested to see how many clearances were from defenders and how many were actual stops from John and which one's higher,
Right. This one is interesting. Newcomer of the year is Manu Garcia. I'm assuming that's just because it can't go to Dejan Jovic if he's also won MVP, because I don't know how he, as a first-year Sporting player, wins MVP and Offensive Player of the Year, but doesn't also win Newcomer of the Year.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
That one's a little interesting to me. I don't know if they're just trying to spread out the love or what the deal is there.
I get that. I mean, it's fake ass awards at the end of the day, right? The team awards. I don't mean they're fake awards, but you know what I mean. It doesn't mean a whole lot,
right?
It's like, wow, we're gonna get 15th in our division, guys, like in our conference. So let's give out some fun awards and all have some candy and go to bed.
Right. I mean, this is just them. They're trying to pat themselves on the back in what was otherwise a not great year. Goal of the year, Shapi Suleimanov. I don't remember specifically which goal this one is. I think it was from distance. And then save of the year, surprise, John Pulskamp won save of the year. Who would have seen that one coming?
Who else would that go to? The other goalkeeper that's played this year? Who?
And then Dejan won the Golden Boot. Mason Toy won the Humanitarian of the Year. And then there was SPC2 Most Valuable Player Shane Donovan, the Academy Player of the Year Jacob Molinaro, and the Sporting Club Newcomer Member of the Year Sporting Columbia. So those are the end of season awards for Sporting Kansas City. I don't think it's a surprise anything that we see from there. I mean, all in all, Dejan Jovic, I mean, he is the reason by and large that Sporting Kansas City was even a modicum of entertaining this year at times throughout the year. And without him, I truly don't know what this team would have been.
Very true, man. I would have loved to see more out of the people around him, but he truly was on an island all on his own. And I hope he, I don't know, man. I hope he's happy, like in this town and like with, personally, like with family and stuff like that. Because he's not happy with the team performance. Like you go from winning MLS Cup to competing for the worst team in the league,
right?
Like, that can't happen.
Now the only like maybe sort of saving grace for his mentality is that his former team, the LA Galaxy, are currently the only team in the Western Conference worse than Sporting Kansas City. So would they have been better had he stayed on that team? Probably, but he can at least it's not like he left. Vancouver, who's first in the West and is now, was in the wooden spoon conversation until this week. Like the other team he was on still could win the wooden spoon. So that's a sliver of hope, I guess. But Sporting KC does have a game this weekend, despite the fact that it doesn't really really matter for much of anything. We have a decision day game at home, the final game at Children's Mercy Park against the Houston Dynamo. And so Houston, they're already eliminated. Sporting are already eliminated. We cannot catch Houston. We cannot catch St. Louis. We are 4 points behind 13th place St. Louis. We are tied on points with the LA Galaxy, so they could jump us, and we could feasibly end up last in the Western Conference. But we cannot win the Wooden Spoon, no matter what happens, because DC United and Atlanta United play each other in the Eastern Conference. And if DC United wins that game, even though we will be level with Atlanta United on points, they cannot catch us in the wins tiebreaker. So Sporting Kansas City, we might end the season with the least amount of points in the league, but we cannot win the Wooden Spoon. You win the Wooden Spoon? Earn the Wooden Spoon? I don't know what the right is there.
You deserve
the Wooden Spoon. But
can Galaxy get that still?
That I don't think they can.
No, they can't.
I think it's either DC United or Atlanta, because
then I think this write-up on MLSsoccer.com was all wrong. It was like scenarios for every team on decision day.
Oh, is it?
And on LA Galaxy, it said they could still win the Wooden Spoon. And as I'm looking at it, no, the hell they can't.
No, because they are currently level with Atlanta United on points, but they have one more win.
I bet AI wrote that shit.
Probably. So it looks like the Wooden Spoon's going to come down to Atlanta United or DC United, whichever.
It's got to be DC. You see their goal differential? It's like -36.
Bro, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. They have, I mean, at least Sporting Kansas City, we've allowed the most goals in the league this year at 70. But at least we've scored 46 goals. DC United have allowed 65 goals and only scored 29. They're averaging less than a goal per game scored.
We have allowed the most goals this year.
Yeah.
What a horrible time. What a horrible year. Are you going to this game this Saturday? Are you going?
I think so. My plan is to go. I hate missing the last home game of the year. This is a tough game scheduling wise for me because I have family in town and I've had some family stuff going on. And so it's been a little interesting, but my plan is to make it because I hate missing the final game of the year.
Take someone to the game, dude. You want to buy my tickets? They haven't sold yet.
Maybe. I don't know. I was planning to go as a media member because I missed the last couple of games because I was out of town for my brother's wedding.
Right.
So, but I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to my cousin and her husband and see if they want to go just as fans.
Yeah.
But I'll let you know.
Sure.
But I don't know. This clearly doesn't sound like you're going to be at this game because I think you probably have a performance of some sort. But are you?
Thanks, bro.
Are you at all? Is there any part of you that is excited for Sporting Kansas City versus the Houston Dynamo in a otherwise meaningless game?
I mean, I'm only going to pay attention to it because I have a freaking podcast about it. It's part of that. And I will have it on my phone, like backstage at my show. And if they win, I will watch the entire game on Sunday to brush up to talk about it. So I hope they do win because I do miss watching victories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. And anytime you beat Houston, it's fun because there's a bit of a history between Sporting Kansas City and Houston. It's just, this is going to be one of those games that people who show up are only showing up because they like soccer, because they like Children's Mercy Park, because they want to be in the stadium. Sporting Kansas City this year in 2025, and I would argue even in 2024 and 2023, have not given fans a good enough reason to stay invested through the end of the season. It's just the reality. And they finally realized it when they moved on from Peter Vermees, and this new era that we'll talk about here in a minute will kick off in earnest beginning Sunday. First thing after Sporting Kansas City officially ends the 2025 season. I would not be surprised if we see press releases come out on Sunday or Monday announcing moves, not just for players, but potentially for staff members. The second this game is over, because David Lee is already making decisions and having conversations in his head with people. So this might be the last time we see players like Eric Tommy. This might be the last time we see Kerry Zavagnin, Mike Burns. This could be the last time we see a lot of people for this team.
You think Mike Burns' job is not secure?
Who knows? It all
He
depends
hasn't
what
been here
David
very
Lee's.
long at all.
He hasn't, but he also didn't sign a very long contract.
Is David Lee in charge of Mike Burns?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
David Lee's the man, dude. When we say he's the milkman, he's the guy. He
And
is
he
on
just-
top.
Oh my God, we gotta pay our milk money, dude. I tell you what, though, the he seems all business, right? And they locked him in for what is it, 6 years?
7 years.
7. And I think Sperry asked some kind of question about it, and I think what's his name? Gosh dang it, who was in the conference with him? What's that guy's name?
Mike
The
Gillick.
owner? Illig, yes, of course. God dang. I was like, it's not Cliff. It's not Cliff. He was like, is the question about the term of the contract? Like, what are you asking here?
Yeah.
And Daniel's like, yeah, sure.
I mean, it is interesting that you signed somebody to that long, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But this is the Mike Lee or David Lee era. Now I'm getting Mike Burns and David Lee confused now. This is the David Lee era. You don't sign somebody to a 7-year contract and then not give them the keys to the kingdom. So he's already talked about how he has had conversations and thoughts about what is going to happen in the years to come. So this is interesting. And so this really is against Houston. It's the final time I think that we are going to see a lot of people for Sporting Kansas City. So will they win? Who knows? Honest to God, who knows? It's hard to know what the mentality of a lot of these players are because a lot of the players know they're probably already on the way out. Yeah,
for sure.
So, but let's talk more about this David Lee hire as we wind down. It was going to be a shorter episode this year. So Sporting Kansas City did that press conference like you talked about. There were a number of quotes that, Mike Illig said that this hire was meant to raise the standard. He said there were 61 different criteria used to make this decision. And out of that process, one candidate rose above the rest, and that was David Lee. He goes on to say that, Sporting Kansas City is stepping into a new era. And for nearly 2 decades, the club was defined by stability and an identity that became a part of who we are. Now comes the responsibility to raise the standard, to push the club forward and earn back the trust of our supporters. And I think it's very interesting and very important. Now, this is me editorializing now. So after he said, win back the trust of our supporters, that was the end of that portion of the quote. I think it's super important and meaningful that the owner recognizes and says right off the top in the first couple of sentences, we have to earn back the trust of our supporters, because I think that is the single biggest reason that we are seeing empty seats in Children's Mercy Park. Trust has been lost for the vast majority of supporters, I think.
It makes it kind of exciting to kind of be a fly on the wall here and see what gets done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. They had 14 candidates over 6 months. They had the 61 criteria, like we said. They brought 4 of them to Kansas City, and it was David Lee. And they specifically call out his ability to identify and recruit talent, to build winning rosters, develop players, and shape cultures that sustain success. And they like his way to bring modern analytics into the game in terms of recruiting talent, improving player performance, wellness, nutrition, rosters, etc. So this is a super departure, I would say, from the culture of Sporting Kansas City and the way it's been before, which has basically been in the eye of Peter Vermees, and the analytics that were used were largely, what does Peter think? And I'm not saying that was a bad thing. It was of a time. And so this is a new one. But this is super duper interesting. Mike Illig does finish his opening remarks that says, to our supporters, we know these past seasons have not met your expectations or ours. We hear you and we feel it too. And we promise this: we will work every day to earn back your trust, to bring pride to Kansas City, and to keep painting the wall. So I don't know, man. It sounds like this hire, talk is cheap, I guess, but this hire is making you feel a little bit excited, like this might potentially be the beginning of a new direction of Sporting Kansas City?
I mean, yeah, of course. Right? I mean, you need something to get excited about. And this is as close as you're going to get.
Yeah, absolutely. And Illich says, the messaging hasn't met the results in prior seasons. We're saying different things and meaning them, and we need to deliver on those things. You can't have trust without transparency. And so they're hoping to have a lot more transparency as to what and how we're doing things. That part is super interesting to me. Excuse me. I'm very curious what they mean by you're going to have a lot more transparency as to what and how we're doing things. And I wonder if that is almost a direct reaction to Peter Vermees over the last year or so, starting to say more of like, hey, I'm not getting the support I need from ownership in so many words, and saying that's why we're not getting the players we want. And I kind of think that Mike Illich is like, well, we're just going to be super transparent now with what we do and do not give in terms of resources.
So he'll just outright say like, nope, too expensive.
I mean, maybe, or outright say we got such and such budget this season for transfers, or hey, we bought this player, or we were about to buy a player and it fell through. Like, I don't know exactly how this plays out, but I don't think it's a bad thing for them to be more transparent, because how many times have we seen rumors circulate on Cauldron Facebook or Sporting Reddit or whatnot of like, oh, this is happening or that's happening, and fans work themselves into a frenzy, sometimes justified and sometimes not.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know. It's interesting. I think this is going to be a very telling 2 to 3 years. It's going to be a very telling offseason. David Lee put together a championship roster for NYCFC. He says, I like building things. I like creating short, medium, and long-term strategic plans and working with people. And that's exactly what I have the opportunity to have here. As I spoke to a number of people and went through the process for this role, the most consistent thing I heard is what a fantastic group of people existed here today. So it's going to be super duper interesting. He's going to hire a whole brand new analytics staff. They've already kicked off the head coach search. So we'll see. He does say we will run a deliberate and clear process with clear criteria of how we're going to make the decision on who we think the permanent head coach could be. We've said if Kerry is interested in that role permanently, he will go into that process that we will run. If he's interested, he'll be a part of that process. Yeah, he's been a part of this club for 25 years, so he's an absolute legend, and he deserves the opportunity if that's a route he would like to go down. That's basically him saying, this is not yet Kerry Zavagnan's job. If he wants to apply, he knows where to send his resume.
For sure. You'd be silly not to apply.
I'm sure he will.
Put your hat in the ring. Why the hell not?
Yeah. And in terms of the roster, David Lee says, I've done a lot of analysis from a distance. I'm now getting to know the staff and players. I think it's going to come as no surprise that the roster needs to be improved. The roster needs to get better, and it will get better through the next transfer windows. That is a clear objective for me and for the staff, is to improve the roster. So we're going to see movement. He says, quote, the organization is going in a direction. We need players bought into that direction. If they're not, then they're probably not the right fit for us, even if they're an excellent player. There's going to be positional characteristics based on the positions we need, but we'll go through all of that when we have time in the postseason. So we will probably see talented players who are not on this team if they're not bought into it. Who knows what that means? Who knows if he's saying to anybody specifically?
Yeah, I'm also, taking a lot of things with a grain of salt here. Like, we kind of got to see things unfold. We're not just like, we're saved. David Lee is our savior. You know what I mean? We don't know anything yet. Like, ownership is still the same. Like, that doesn't change.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm certainly not getting my hopes up.
Well, and he even says, like, in the first 4 to 6 weeks, there's going to be a lot of learning. And, it's like you think about when you go start a new job. Like, you don't start on day one and suddenly you're making money moves and changing things up. Like, you got to learn. So he's going to learn. And he says, after decision day, we're going to have player option decisions we need to go through. And he says the first thing is to give a clear direction of where we're headed to both players and staff that remain here. And then we have staff we need to hire. We have departments that we need to build. We have players that we need to sign. And so it's going to be, I mean, he's really going to essentially have to build a team from the ground up. And he says hiring a permanent head coach is a number one priority. And then that could change some of the profiles and players that you're looking at in January. So we're probably going to get roster decisions pretty soon in terms of player options. And then we're going to hear news on the head coach front at some point, hopefully in the not too distant future after that, sometime in November, December. And then come January, we'll start getting more information in terms of what players are being signed to this team. So it's gonna be a super, super busy, interesting off season.
Yep.
So,
100%.
But I'm excited, man. I mean, I don't want to sit here and say I am super optimistic that 2026 is going to be a banger year for Sporting Kansas City, but I think I am cautiously optimistic that Sporting Kansas City has given themselves runway now to build something modern and sustainable.
Yeah.
So
no, agreed, man.
where I land.
Absolutely.
But I don't know, man. I mean, go check out the whole press conference if you haven't. There's a huge write-up on sportingkc.com that's super interesting. You can really get an insight.
Long press conference. It's like 30-some minutes.
It was long. I wish I could have been there. I was out of town visiting my family in the Pacific Northwest. But this is the biggest press conference that Sporting Kansas City has had potentially since they hired Peter Vermees. I mean, certainly since they fired Peter Vermees, but this is an entirely new Sporting Kansas City. So
yep.
We'll
Very
see what
so.
happens. But you got anything else you want to cover this week for our good listeners?
Oh, no, man. You got a USA game this week, if that matters to anybody. It's tonight, I think.
There is a USA game. It's obviously not a competitive game, but it's a national soccer game against Australia. It's in Chicago, I believe, at Dick's Sporting Goods Park, and I think it's on HBO Max if you want to watch it. So,
isn't Dick's Sporting Goods Park in Colorado?
I meant Colorado. Did I say Chicago?
No,
I pictured Colorado, and for some reason said Chicago.
Because it's okay. Earlier you said this is going to be a shorter podcast this year, so I just let it go. But I brought it back, so I didn't let it go.
You've been holding on to that one.
I did not let it go.
I'm sleep deprived. It's been at least. Hey, I'm back home now. I'm not sitting in front of the Pacific Ocean for this podcast in 45-degree weather.
That was crazy.
It was fun, but it was cold.
Right.
So, well, thank you all so much for listening. Let us know. Are you going to be at the decision day game on Saturday against the Houston Dynamo? And if so, come say hi. Let me know. And make sure you leave us that 5-star rating and review. Let us know what you want us to talk about this offseason, who you want us to interview, what sort of questions you want us to ask. If we are able to get David Lee on the podcast, it's something that we are going to try to do, which I think would be super cool. Make sure you follow us on social at NoOtherPod, at Dan Kooser, at JCMac03. Shoot us an email, nootherpod@gmail.com, or check us out on YouTube, KCSN Soccer, or via the KC Sports Network app. But until next time, he's Dan. I'm Jimmy. We'll catch y'all later. See ya.
Can we get a victory pod to end the year, please?